Alright, I have some gameplay of my 60 card Tearlament list branded Bestial Despia deck. If you want to see my full explanations on the deck and deck profile, I have the video of the deck profile on my channel. Just want to cover some replays that I try to get while playing with this deck on ladder. We can begin with Allure of Darkness that gets ashed. Now you might be thinking, why the hell would you ash Allure in a 60 card deck? And to be honest, I don't know either, but most of the time, if your opponent activates Allure in a 60, you're probably going to be losing anyways, because Allure is a pot of greed, and then you get a additional banish that's beneficial. In this case we got Tragedy, but oftentimes they run other stuff, and then they can draw into like Ash or Called By and then Grass anyways, so it's like there's really not a good thing to Ash versus 60 if you're not expecting it. Fortunately, we have the biggest punish, which is we open Branded Fusion, so I didn't even Call By the Ash because I know that this is enough. So you go to Albion line to dump Lubellion, dump Edgem Chain, and the Tragedy will trigger, which will get us Alibur. Go into Mirror Jade, and then Edgem Chain will trigger, getting us Patchwork, and Patchwork will get us Poly plus Edgem Chain. Then Lubellion will trigger, sending the Albion to the grave, adding Loss. And this is what I like about the Patchwork engine, is even when you don't open Cartasia, it still gives you a way to trigger the Lost when you go to Albion line. So now we can normal summon Alibur, get Branded Opening, Mirror Jade, send Brigand, banish Lubellion, Branded Opening, pitch the Edgem Chain to get the Adlib, and then we're gonna fuse the Adlib and the Mirror Jade into Dragostapelia. This is gonna trigger Adlib, which will summon back the Mirror Jade, and then Branded Loss will trigger, adding us Albion. Then Albion send Albaz to draw a card. We send Albaz because when you during your opponent's turn, we're gonna send Rimbram off of Mirror Jade, and then Rimbram can special summon Albaz during our opponent's turn to fuse with their monsters. And obviously we get the Mercurier off the Brigand, and we get the Albion. So we have Branded, and how many interruptions is it? Okay, we have Mercurier, Mirror Jade, Dragostapelia, Branded Red, which is 2 interruptions because of Adlibidum, so that's 5, plus the Rimbram we send, so that's 6, plus the Call By, so that's 7 interruptions right there, after our opponent ashed the Allure. So sick. Chaos Space, we can pitch Recharger, add Lubellion, and we're gonna Call By the Great Lubellion. And we needed 0 of our interruptions, because all we needed to do was save the Call By for Lubellion, and that was enough for game. So yeah, that's an example of the ceiling that the extra ceiling that the Patchwork engine adds to the deck. Alright, playing first this game, this hand looks kind of weird, but we open Patchwork and Brand Opening, so actually that's FTK. What am I saying? This hand is amazing. And Brand Opening, dump Edgem Chain, to trigger Edgem Chain to get us another Patchwork, and then Alibur will get us Branded Fusion. Activate Branded Fusion for the Albion line once again. Albion's gonna get Bestialed, our Albaz can get Bestialed. And that's another great thing about the Patchwork package, is it kind of plays around Bestials, because when you go Albion line and they banish your Albaz with a Bestial, sometimes you're forced to either fuse off the Albion or fuse off the Lubellion and Grave, and then you lose that as well, and then all you get is like, what, a Mirror Jade? It's just like not... it's okay, but it's not sufficient in this meta. But since we have the extra Patchwork and Grave to banish off of the Albion anyways, we get to go into Coritis and then save our Lubellion. And they're gonna use Happiness and Wisp, because you know you gotta love the ban list for Master Duel, right? And regardless, even if they didn't whiff, we still have the Sarnier in hand, which we're gonna summon anyways. So because I wanna banish their Cartasia and then fuse off into Dragostapelia, I'm just gonna trigger the Sarnier, and it's gonna trigger the Branded Lost. Once again, the Patchwork package is helping me trigger the Branded Lost. And face we're gonna get Branded High Spirits and Branded Banishment. I misplayed this a little bit, I should have just not sent the Retribution, because I didn't end up using it, so I could have just searched the Retribution anyways. Then I would have an extra interruption. But yeah, our opponent's gonna normal summon Rhinoheart. We're gonna negate that with the Dragosophilia. And you're gonna Foolish Burial for Merly. Trigger Merly. Going to Kaleido Heart. They don't go into Kikalos, because if you go into Kikalos, we're just gonna banish the Kikalos with the banishment. So in this way, the Kaleido Heart forces out the banishment, and we're gonna just revive the Coridas instead of the Albion. And the Kaleido Heart cannot be used as fusion material, so instead we're gonna fuse away the Sarnier instead to go into Proskenion. And then that's gonna trigger Lost again to add the Albaz to hand. And you're gonna enter battle phase, attack over the Dragosophilia, and not have any more plays. So end phase we're gonna use Branded Red or Branded High Spirits, dump Fallen Albaz so we can get an Albion Engrave. And then we can trigger the Albion Engrave, get another search before our next turn. And now we have Patchwork, add Poly. We're gonna activate Branded Fusion. We're gonna activate Branded Beast with no targets. Cool. So yeah, this is pretty over. Get the Cartasia anyways, and the Alibur. Mirror Jade is gonna banish their Kaleido Heart. And normal Alibur, get Branded Red. This is already game, but we summon the Cartasia anyways for insurance, because I was too lazy to do the math, even though I should know these numbers by now. So yeah, Poly lets you do some weird extension plays into opponent's Bystials. Okay, these next two duels. These are the ones where these are a type of duels that just make me want to like close Master Duel afterwards for whatever reason. Alright, so we go first. We brick, you know. I'm showing my brick hands too. Our opponents activate Extravagance. They're on Labrynth. Can't really do anything about the Labrynth, unfortunately. Clue Clock. Activate Necro Valley. We're gonna chain to Necro Valley, get rid of Kulak for the Sarnier. You're gonna activate Big Welcome. Then Lovely is gonna trigger. So at this point, I'm just gonna Super Poly away my Edgimp and my opponent's Lovely Lady to get Garura. They're gonna pop the last card in their hand, and we're gonna get a Patchwork to hand. Okay, my turn. Rivalry, summon limit. Honestly, you know, so the rivalry is gonna let us send the Garura Grave to draw a card. I'm gonna activate Patchwork to add the Poly to hand. At which point, we're gonna. Fun fact. I sent Lubellion with Sarnier because not a lot of people know this, but I mean, if you play Branded or regularly, you should definitely know that you can summon Lubellion under Necro Valley. Because Necro Valley just prevents effects, card effects in the grave. Lubellion summoning from the grave is a summon condition. It is not a card effect. So you can absolutely tribute a Dark Dragon, summon this from the grave. Which we do, and we're going to activate it and they're going to skill drain. This is shit so fun. Like, I just love logging into Master Duel and queuing up with a deck like this. So, yeah, unfortunately, they messed up because how are they gonna kill Dark Magician? Extravagance? Okay. Set 3 cards. Okay, cool. And we're just gonna enter battle phase, attack over Ariana. So here's the Master Duel player. Okay, so Necro Valley is fucking them up because the way you Labrynth can play skill drain because they can dodge skill drain by just chaining Big Welcome in their grave to send the monsters back to their hand to dodge the skill drain, right? You cannot do that if you have Necro Valley on the field. You can't banish the Big Welcome in the grave. So the Big Welcome in the grave is effectively dead, which means every single Ariana that you could proceed to draw is also dead because you cannot dodge through own skill drain. So meanwhile, I can just enter battle phase every turn and punch. Like, I should be doing more. So draw a lure, I'll banish the Mercurier to add an Albaz to hand, because Albaz is a dragon and Lubellion is a dragon. I can just attack into and summon both of them under rivalry. And my opponent set 2 cards for some reason. Neither of them are big welcome or welcome Labrynth, so I don't know why he did that. He just locked himself out of his own spell and trap zones. We're going to Lubellion. Lubellion is also a dragon. Add ad libitum. And then enter battle phase. Nice max C. And yeah, they can't even activate Pot of Extravagance, so I did. That was a very nice, well played amount of floodgates, sir. Yeah. Yeah, the problem with Master Duel is it's just too good, right? Okay, if you thought the last game was bad, you know, 4 floodgates, unable to beat over a Dark Magician, essentially. So watch this. Our opponent's gonna lead off with Merly. We're gonna hit a Sharon. We're gonna Sarnier to Sharon, and of course they have the extender. They always have the extender. So yeah, now we can't do anything, and our opponent's gonna make a full board. Yeah, you don't need me to tell you what's going on. You've played ranked. You know exactly what's gonna happen. Yeah, the Yoinky Splinky, Rhino Heart, get Havness, get the Rhino Heart back too, dump the Sulyak, the Volcalos. By the way, this is how you know I'm playing Branded Despot and you did not mill a single Super Poly. Why the hell would you play into Super Poly with Volcalos Dweller for no reason? Like why? This is like one of your lose conditions. This is me opening Super Poly. But I mean, it doesn't matter because they never get punished for putting up Dweller Volcalos. Like why would you get punished, right? Next you're gonna have Baron Volcalos Dweller plus Elf. Sick. Then we're gonna Dweller because I didn't draw Super Poly out of 3 cards in my deck. Then we're gonna activate Patchwork, and we're gonna get the Merly back. Just love this interaction. I love that Merly is a level 2. Dump 3, get a Rhino Heart. Just playing before I normal summon a monster. Going to Kaleido Heart to get rid of the Sarnier, because the Sarnier was definitely the threat on board. Fusion deployment is gonna get negated by Volcalos, and the Merly's gonna trigger. Go into Winda. Nice. Nice. Normal summon Alibur, get Branded Lost, activate Branded Lost, activate Poly. And I'm gonna go into Guardian Chimera. I'm gonna just pop their Baron. Draw 2. Draw a Lure. Banish the Tragedy. Go into battle phase. We're gonna trigger still, and then we're gonna put back the Poly into my deck so that they can target and flip my Chimera face down. Which is, here's the thing, right? As soon as they put up a Wind on the field, I knew I was not clearing the board. It's just not possible. So I'm keeping the Winda on their field. Hopefully that they that they can't play through their own Winda and kill me. So our opponents activate Super Poly, anyways, has the Winda. They get rid of the Winda themselves, going to Dragos Tapelia. Okay, which is gonna trigger Kaleido Heart, and they're gonna put back my back row. Which you're gonna see, it's a very odd choice that they choose to target my back row. So the Volcalos comes back, and I get to trigger the Grand Guignol because I dumped it off of the Revealing Cartasia, which is gonna negate with Volcalos. Okay. Enter battle phase. Attack. Tearlaments, like, do you know how much defense Guardian Chimera has? Right. Their Pro Rhino is in the grave, and they have 1 Shuffler. Okay. So they attack into this. Main phase 2. I know I don't have a face cannon right now, but I'm throwing my hands up in the air. I'm wondering what the hell my opponent did. you notice they just surrendered. There was no connection failure. There was not a time limit loss. They just gave up. They could not out a 3300 defense monster. Like, bro literally lost to a defense division Labrynth wall. Like, Lil Bro could not think of a single way to get rid of fucking Guardian Chimera in defense mode. So anyway, if you want to learn how to get free wins by playing Labrynth, check out my other Branded test videos.